There. Let's manage this. Okay, cool, I'm live. Can you guys hear me okay? Oh my goodness. Yeah. Let me see. Sort out this gimbal. Okay. Nah, that's better, I think. Hey, Kathy. Hey, Miriam. These gimbals have a life of their own. Let me see, can we flick this around? Here we go. Oh, there we go. Oh. Let me show you my sign first. Can we? That's one side of the sign. And here we have a special message for, oops. Okay, just doing a test there that my sign can take some abuse. Okay, here the Irish weather doesn't help you with a bit of a breeze. And that's the message, special message for the org. Hi Yolanda, how are you? Just on the way to the Dublin org with their special signage for them. So this week we got a bigger sign for them with bigger letters based on the lovely advice a lovely lady called Maria gave me here last time. If I get this gimbal to behave properly for me, I'd be happy. That's better. Hi Ian, how are you? Now I think I have it. Now I think I managed to get it right. I don't know, these modern devices aren't built for us slightly older ladies. Hi Joe, how are you? Slightly windy here in Dublin today. Actually, it's rather busy here. I should be displaying my sign as I walking up to the passing traffic. Oh good, at first glance the org looks to be empty. That's what we love to see. And we have a break in traffic so I can safely cross without accidentally getting myself run over. Oh, this is fantastic. Love to see an empty org. Here we go. Someone out there having a play in the pond, it looks like. Change this around. That's the way we want it. Bloody wind. Hi T. Hi Lara. I'm just here outside the Dublin org of a Sunday afternoon. The weather is pretty good, it's about 20 degrees. It was a slight bit windy, which is not doing my sign any good. I really need to use stronger substance next time, or at least glue it to something stronger. A bit bendy there at the moment, but sure it'll do. Oh yeah, I'll try and show you my sign there. Oops. So that's the front of it there. So that's to show the past and members of the public. And then we have a special message there for the org. Bugger. Need a stronger pull as well. And that's the message for the org. And as you can see, it's a slight bit windy here at the moment. That's the way I want it. It's a slight bit windy. So I really need something stronger to put my paper on. But I do like the use of the high vis paper. It does stand out a bit. Hi Amy. Hi Rick. Yeah. We're outside the Dublin Orc here in Ireland on a nice sunny Sunday afternoon. And as you can see, it's relatively empty, which is what we like to see. So I think the message is clear. Ireland does not want Scientology in any shape or form. So in the front car park we bought with 2 cars. And in the back here there's 1 car, 2, 3, 4 cars and 2 of the little minivans that they use to ferry in and out the poor workers trapped inside there. Oh cool, you can hear me great. That's good. I have a little one of them little Mikey things. So I might show you my little, I have a high vis shirt on me there as well. Let's see, can I give you a peek. There you go. So there's my little high vis vest and my little mic. Let's stick it back around. No one needs to be looking at my face for too long. Exactly, F them. Exactly, F Sciento. And the xeno volcanoes. I'm always freezing us like fucking ice popsicles for a billion years. Fuck that shit, man. Speaking of a billion years, I think if I honestly believed I had a billion years on this planet, and there is another zillion billion years to come, I think I'd fucking end it all now. That thought is depressing as fuck, man. I think I'm happy enough with living to be what, 100 odd, give or take 20 years either side. Does me just fine. Well, I don't know about that, Cathy. I think I might have progressed from novice to amateur status. Definitely a long way from pro, but sure, we do what we can. Here we can see absolutely not a sinner in sight. How good the wind has died down a bit, so my sign is a little bit more stable. We do need stronger paper. Maybe cardboard backing or something on it. And I'll have to upgrade my little plastic pole to a wooden stick, I think. Give it that little bit more structure and substance. Hey, the pie maker, how are you? Hey, David, how are you? We're outside the Dublin Orc here of a nice sunny Sunday afternoon. Little bit intermittent bit of a wind, but for now it's died down. So my sign is holding up and is pretty stable. Let me see. If I just hold it there, just hold my sign a little bit in the middle, that will give it a little bit more, seems to make it more steady. I think that's better. Yeah, it definitely needs stronger paper now. I've made the sign twice the size. Need some stronger backing to it. Anyway, this is only our second prototype, so I'll have to think of a prototype number 3 and what paper to use for it. Hey, 420, how are you? Oh, there we got some friendly hoots. That's what we like to hear. Appreciation for the public. IAT, you'll have a lot to catch up on. Miriam is going live with Mark Torrey later, and after that, then Bianca is going live with a wonderful Jamie Mustard. So, if any of you haven't already, check out Jamie Mustard's new book, Child X. It's a fantastic rip and read. Yeah, 3 people in there out front. One behind the desk. Another lady. Who's the gentleman? He's staff or a member of public? I can't tell these lads apart. And you two of them are in their little waiter uniform, so they must be staff members. There's another gent in the background there. That's 4 people we have inside there. So that's obviously hopping over Sunday, which is great to see. Let me just put my sign down for a second, see can we zoom in. Oops. Oh. Let's see. These bars wasn't in the way, it'd be much easier. There you can see my reflection staring back at us there. Hope this isn't too shaky now that we're fully zoomed in. Absolutely dead here, Amy. It's only, what, 4 people inside there. I'm not sure who that gentleman is. Didn't see me close. I wonder if he'd be a member of the public, I wonder. Oh yeah, they definitely can too. So I do think the High Vis West is definitely worth it. Let me just zoom back out again. Zoom back out. I'll pick up my sign. Oh. There we go. There we go. Even the birds don't want nothing to do with Scientology. They can't fly away fast enough. It certainly is dead. Exactly, it is dead, which is great to see. Absolute fantastic to see. I zoomed all the way out. Let me just check. I've zoomed all the way out. Oops, how are we on now? Oh. There you see. Now, reorg myself there a little bit. Oops. Yeah, the little bit of breeze we have is playing havoc with my bigger sign. Definitely need more sturdy material next time. This is good though. This is good to know. I know how to make my third sign. Now, can we stop shaking? Hang on, let me adjust my hand a bit. Guys, a bit more stability there. Oh, yep, only a handful of them inside there. We haven't even seen a handful. Seen 4 so far. I don't know what that guy there is doing. Is he? Oh, I think maybe he's cleaning the floor. Is he? Cleaning the floor, making some busy work for himself. Although the floor can't need that much cleaning. We haven't exactly had many people in there. Cleaning the floor with one of them fancy machines. So that's good anyway that they're not using a toothbrush to clean the floor with. Zoom in. Yeah, you can't really see him too good. Let's zoom back out again. Yeah, I think even a zoomed out might be the best. Let's see. I get my grip on this right. Oh yeah, that's it. There must be actually, yeah, from all the other things, there probably is little body stations that they need to clean up. That is a valid point. Even though no doubt to the untrained eye, I'm sure the floor looks spotless in there. There we are now. I think that's I'd say there is no whistling allowed, Joe. Yeah, I'd say no music. Oh, speaking of music, why don't I put on some Joey tunes? Let me see. Let me put on some JoJo music here. As you can probably tell, I'm not very good at doing things one-handed. Tunes. Is that playing? Ah, there we go. Now can you hear JoJo tunes okay there? Have them playing away there in my pocket on the old phone. It certainly is awesome tea. They do have tax. They do have what you call it. They're a not-for-profit organisation. I'm not sure, quite sure what that means. If that just means they don't pay income tax. But considering they don't have employees, what income tax would they have to pay anyway? But I'm sure it's some sort of a tax scam or con. Hi, Haggis, how are you? And you talking of which, it'd be very easy for these guys to have a zero tax bill to pay at the end of the year. Seeing as after all, they are paying a fee to the states, I'd imagine, for the Dynetics and to run the Dynetics forces. So you can, in theory, price that any way you want, so that regardless, even if there was a sudden influx of people in here, they still be reporting a loss every year. Although they don't need to do any manipulation to be reporting a loss. Ireland does not want Scientology in any shape or form. Thank you very much. We're happy enough with our conventional religions or remaining a no religion status. Yeah, I can't see them selling very much. But if you're selling something at a loss, if you're selling a, if you're paying, I'd say, a license fee to sell Dynetics here, say you're paying 2 million a year to the states to sell it, but you're only selling 2 courses at 2 grand each. That's going to be a loss overall selling the courses. Do you know what I mean? So I do think there is a way around for the clever bookkeepers to do it where they pay nothing. Actually, that would be something worth checking out to see what they are filing at the end of the year. Being a business, they'd have to be filing annual returns. So that definitely would be interesting to see what they're doing. Oh, I see. They might come under cross recce. Yeah, that would be interesting. All right. See, see when our annual returns are filed here, I think the end of October. So it certainly would be worth getting a copy of these guys. I presume would I be able to access them? Presumably so for a fee. Would it be public available information? Yeah, something to check into. Yeah, I'm pretty sure too that this is land. This is land that Scientology bought themselves. There used to be. I know, no worries. It has to be done. Let them know we don't want them here. Uh, I just a passerby there talking to me the other side of the road. Oops, wrong. Got my messages the wrong way around. Yeah, as I was saying, yeah, this land here, they do own it themselves. They did buy it in 2017, 2016, 2017. But because there was already some sort of a religious church here, well, I use the word church lightly. There was some sort of religious church here based out of, well, it sounds to me more like a cult based in the Philippines that had a branch here. They ran into financial difficulty and had to close. And because they were down as a religion, these grounds are marked as for religious purposes, which is why these guys were able to open here so easily. Even though we don't recognise them as a religion. So a contradiction of sorts there. Yeah, they have another property in Dublin City as well, where they have the corporate head office. And I think they have a few other buildings about the city as well, as far as I know. They're good at acquiring properties. As to who owns the title to them now, that's another question. Presumably Davy does in some shape or form. Exactly, it's not a religion. And I've certainly never met any other religion selling books on the street side. I've never in all my 50 years here encountered anyone selling fucking Roman Catholic Bibles on the street. Ah, thanks a pie maker. Yeah, I love Copenhagen. It's a lovely city. Relatively speaking, it's not expensive because Dublin is where it's expensive. So price wise, it's pretty much the same. And the people are absolutely fantastic. They're so friendly, and the place is so clean and civilized. And I have to say, the people aren't bad either. The men are, what do you call it, keen on the eye, shall we say. Definitely eye candy. Oh yes, I have to confess, I am very clumsy. My spatial awareness is absolutely zero. That's one of the many gifts I was born with, clumsiness. Time 2:45. There were two people walking in here. They just turned up there in the car, but there seemed to be carrying a six-pack of water and something for lunch. Looks like maybe a sandwich she's carrying. I wonder if the staff change. They certainly look like staff uniforms they're wearing anyway. Yeah, that's definitely staff uniforms. I wonder is it near Suppose it would be 3 o'clock would be staff turnover time, would it? Yeah, this wind isn't my friend at all. That's what the wind. That's what the wind is doing to my sign. Erika, no doubt the guys in there will think it's their. Well, they don't have any OT8s in there. They'd be lucky if they have an OT -5 in there, I would guess. Definitely need something stronger for my next poster. They're still getting the message across though, so it's doing the job. And just right down there a bit, so that's. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah. I don't like pop it on the ground a bit and walk away from it. Hang on, let's just go straight on the ground and see can I. That's one side of the sign. That's for the general members of the public, and there's a special message for the guys inside the earth to look at. So it is a bit bendy today with the wind, so I definitely need some sort of a strong cardboard substance to put behind it. Because I certainly do like the high vis fluorescent paper. With the black ink, it does stand out that bit more. Hi Brian, how are you? Yeah, no worries, Steve. Thanks for popping in. Hugs to that boy of yours. As you can see here, it's pretty quiet here. We have 2 cars in the front car park, and we have 4 or 5 cars and 2 little mini buses in the back car park, and that's it. So this is what we like to see, a nice quiet premises. And of course we have Jojo tunes playing there in the background. That poor guy is still cleaning the floor. There must be a lot of body Satans that they're mopping up there. So I guess they must have been on the cans there earlier today maybe. I suppose that's the special floor cleaner they have for detecting body Satans, I guess. Seeing as they'd be invisible to the. Or maybe these guys have special powers to see the body Satans. Maybe it's just us that can't see them. I wonder. I don't know if you can tell there, but my high vis vest and sign is getting reflected back at me in their upstairs window there, which is lovely to see. Oh my goodness, Kathy, 6 a.m. for you. Oh my. I'd be turning over for my second sleep at that time of the morning. Don't know how you early risers do it. Oh, that's a good idea, Amy. Because at the moment, I have Joe's music downloaded to my old phone. But I could pick up a cheap SIM that would allow me to stream it directly from Spotify. And as you say, that would give her the streams as well. That's a fantastic idea. Thanks for that, Amy. Oh my goodness, the wind is strong here at the moment. It's also very refreshing, this nice cool breeze. So it's not exactly been kind to my sign. Oh, that's great, Rika. Looking forward to hearing about that in due course. 600 listeners on Spotify. That's great, Joe. Good thing you didn't see that. I just clobbered myself in the head with my own sign. So as Haggis did mention, I am rather clumsy. I seem to manage to hurt myself in ways that no one else would think possible. I wonder if I held it. No. If I had a bigger stick, taller stick, I could prop it on the ground. Oh, hi, Alex. I'll show you my sign. Hang on, let me prop it on the ground so I can. That's the front of the sign there. And I'll show you the back of it. And the back of it is a special message to the org. There we go. I do need to make a new sign with stronger material. The wind we have here today is not exactly being kind on me. So I do need some harder substance as a backing to give the sign a bit more stability. But this is all good, it's all good learning. It's good to have a few prototypes to learn from. And as you can see here, the Dublin org on a Sunday afternoon is absolutely empty. We have a handful of staff members inside there, and that's it. There's no sign of any public members or any, even better, no curious members of the general public wandering in for these daft-free personality tests. Yeah, I'd recommend playing Joe's music at protest week. It certainly helps. Because I have to say, I don't know about you, but I find it creepy as hell facing this org being anywhere in the vicinity. To be honest, it's the last place in the world I'd like to be. It's a creepy place, and I doubt that will ever change. I think you can sense bad energy that's in this place. I guess pie maker, that depends on your definition of religion. Catholic Church is a man-made invention after all. It's not something God himself created. That's something man created. So there's a massive difference between God and all of these religions. But we won't get into that here. We're not debating philosophy here or what constitutes a proper religion. Or even this place is widely recognised as a cult. But even at that, people are free to believe in what they want. Heck it, they can howl at the moon if they like. What I object to is forcing your belief onto others. And these guys are abusive as fuck. There's no child walks out of this place unscathed, or even any adult for that matter. Yeah, exactly, Rika. It does. You can feel the bad energy. It's not a nice place to be. The amount of excuses that ran through my head coming here today as to why I couldn't, wishing that something bad would happen to me so I wouldn't have to come here. And that's not good either to be thinking things like that. But it just shows this is the last place in the world I'd like to be. But I think it has to be done to spread awareness. Because people are, even though it's not many, there are still people falling victim to these guys. So that is our aim, that we have no future victims, that no one else manages to walk innocently through them doors, happily oblivious to the dangers that lies within. If we can save one soul, that makes it well worthwhile being here. Exactly, Miriam. Abuse of any shape or form is wrong. I don't know about you guys, but I'm 50 this year. Well, 51 in November. But I've had enough of abuse. I witnessed abuse in one shape or form all my life, and I reached a point where this is fucking ridiculous. It's time for people just to open their eyes and look at what's going on around them and just say, no, this is not acceptable. I see what's going on and I don't agree with it. It's our duty as humans to look out for each other. We should be looking out for both our fellow humans and for our fellow animals and our furry friends, regardless of what your religious beliefs or anything else is. That's just a better way of living, in my view. We don't need to be all fucking doggy going for the juggler, money grabbing here, there, and everywhere. There's enough resources in this world for us all to live in relative contentment. Ah, see, Amy, that is my aim to get old enough that I can happily say, too young to die old. It's the same that Billy Connolly used to have in the back of his shirt when he did his motorbike comedy tours of the world. And I always thought, yeah, that is the aim. Because unfortunately, there's too many people in this world that do die young, which is sad to see. I don't know. Sometimes am I preaching facts or am I just aimlessly rambling about what garbage pops into my head sometimes? Maybe 65, Cathy. Sure, you're only young. 65 is young. No, I'm only calling old is, let me see, what would be considered old. I think 80 is an age to call old. Up until 80, you're still relatively young. Now, I wouldn't recommend anyone go jumping fences anytime soon. And once you reach a certain age, we don't bounce as well as we did when we were kids. We tend to break. And the older you get, you just seem to break in more pieces, from what I can see. Yeah, thanks very much, David. If you would be so kind as to hit the like, share, and maybe give me a wee subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah, that is true, Rika. It does seem to be mostly men, but some women are perpetrators of horrific abuses as well, though. I think sometimes women can be even more cruel than what men are. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Rika. I had a fucker of a father that was abusive as fuck. Physical and mental abuse. And I'll say mental abuse is by far worse than physical abuse. Mental abuse as a child becomes ingrained on your soul. It's always there with you. You just learn to live with it. But thankfully, I had the world's best mum and the best gran in the world that compensated. And they showed me a much better way to live. Yeah, right, Brian. Yeah, the a-holes give you nice guys a bad name. Hey, Ophelia. Hey, Peter, how are you guys? So outside the Dublin Arc here of a sunny but windy Sunday afternoon. But thankfully my sign is holding up, which is good to see. So I have to say the gorilla tape I use seems to be holding up. It's just a pain to hold the fucker. I could do with a long stand to have a freestanding, I think. But sure, we make do the best we can. So I'll just give you guys a look there at the sign. And I'll thump it on the ground, it's easier to see. So that's the front of it there for members of the public. And I flip it over, and that's a special message to the face in the org. So even though they're that bit more awkward to manage, I do like the double-headed signs where you have a message for the past members of the public and then a message for the guys inside the org itself. Yep, it's my second edition of a homemade sign affiliate, based on the wonderful advice I got last time, where a lovely lady stopped to advise me that I needed a bigger sign, bigger wording for the passing cars to be able to properly read the messages. So that's what we have here. Now I just need to think about some stronger paper to use, maybe some foam back cardboard or something to stick it on, just to give it that bit more substance that I can withstand the wind properly. That's one thing we do have a lot of here in Ireland. We do have wind. We rarely have gale forces, but we have enough of a breeze to be a bit of a nuisance when one is trying to hold their sign. See, can I hold this properly? Apologies there. Okay, yeah. I think I have it there. If I have to readjust my grip there. Oh, leftover pizza. That sounds good, David. Leftover pizza any time of the day or night. It's the ultimate meal. You can have it for breakfast, lunch, dinner, even a cheeky midnight snack. Why not? So we have JoJo's wonderful tunes there playing away in my pocket. Joe was having chicken satay and rice later. Nice. I'll round to Joe's for dinner. I'll bring the beers. What I have. Oh, I might treat myself to some fish and chips in town later, or maybe a cheeky pint of Guinness. I need something to look forward to when we place a bit of good cheer after being stuck outside here soaking up all their bad juju. As this place is reeking of bad energy. And I wouldn't exactly be a spiritual person, but there is bad energy coming out of this place. That much I do know. Oh yeah, I forgot that, Joe. You owe me 2 beers, you swine. I hate to you're back. You weren't gone long at all. Oh yes, hopefully, yeah. One way, actually, you know what, Joe? One way or the other, we'll see each other in October, regardless of what's going on in the southern part of the country. Oh, that's good. The boy is asleep. That's what we like to hear. Oh no, there we have a little bird. Oh no, he's walking away from the orb. That's good. Who knows? These guys might be desperate enough. They might start orbiting the birds that pass by, seeing as there's no one else showing any interest in the place. Oh, that's a shame too, but there's always next time. But you have priorities. You have to put your boy first and his needs. And of course your own needs as well at that. And I would love a trip to Porto next summer. Avoid the Irish summer here. If only I can find that elusive pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Oh yes, touch wood we do. We have all the time in the world. Hopefully we do, yeah. One just never knows what's around the corner. Bye, David. Thanks, Care. Thanks for joining us and have a great day. There's not much, there's very little foot traffic. There's the odd person passing by maybe every 10 minutes walking their dog. It's mostly passing cars, which is where having the bigger sign is advantageous. Because they're really my target audience is people passing by. Oh, there we have an appreciated honk. So we do have a steady trickle of traffic folk coming into and out of Dublin City. So that is good. They're getting a nice view of my signage there, which is good. Good way to spread the message. Now, if the wind would ease up a bit, because it's wearing out my hand battling against the wind trying to stabilise the sign. But it does give me some ideas for the third edition of my signage. Tia's Woolies weight arm very good. Definitely need the Woolies. Particularly in Scotland. They do seem to get the worst of the weather there over there. I wonder will I try swapping around my hands. Just going to swap around my sign to my right hand. Might find it that bit easier to hold it. Yeah, it's giving me a bit of a break. Better, I think. Oh, she's trying to get married in October next year. Oh, interesting thing. So can I adjust my grip here? Sorry about that for the shakiness, lads. Let's see. As you can see, I'm not exactly a pro, definitely an amateur. That's better, I think. Yeah, I can hold that up a bit better there. That's where age isn't exactly kind to us ladies. Yeah, that's a bit better. I can manage that a bit better. Oh, that's great, Rika. You're going to play some shows with a friend of yours. That is fantastic. Oh, that's great, yeah. It'd be great to spread some awareness in Mexico. So as you can see, we don't exactly have many people come. Well, nobody really came in and out. With a couple of staff members arrived for the change of shift, and that was it, which is fantastic to see. Oh, here's a box or something. She's eating an apple. Nice and healthy, I guess. Let me see, can I manage it? Grab my bottle of water, have some recommended sips. Let's see. Hydration is important, folks. That's better. That's sad to see. It's a child belonging to one of the staff members. Hopefully he's seen my sign and then maybe it'll plant some seeds of doubt in his head in later years. I just adjusted my hand there, we're starting to cramp up a little bit. This is where age is not kind to us ladies sometimes. Oh, two motorbikes. Oh, nice fancy ones too. Don't often see bikers out and about. On their day, bikers are just these casual weekend type of ones. Sorry about that, lads. Just trying to find a more comfortable grip here, this thing. Yeah, that's better for now. Yeah, we just have a couple there walking in. They do look like they're in civic clothes. So I guess they're public members. They're old enough too. They're definitely older than me anyway. Easily in their 60s, I would reckon. Hi Stephen, we're outside the Dublin org of Scientology in Dublin, Ireland. So as you can see here, it's relatively quiet. There's only a handful of people inside there. And the car park are practically empty. With 2 cars in the front car park, 4 or 5 cars and 2 minivans in the back, and that is it. So it's great to see it so quiet on a Sunday afternoon here in Dublin, Ireland. Yeah, it certainly is. It is a massive building. They have a they have a fully functional auditorium here that can be used for things like musical concerts and the like. And I think it's big enough to fit something like three. It has something like is it 1,800 or 3,000 seats? So it's pretty big in there. But as you can see, they do fuck all business. So I can't see how these guys aren't operating at a huge loss. And I would presume they've done some sort of a manipulation with the bookkeeping. That I wonder, is it the American taxpayer are ultimately funding the operation here? Because they do have the tax exempt status in America, or possibly even through Australia somewhere, they're tax exempt there as well. Because they're definitely not, they're certainly not paying their own way here, so to speak. So there's obviously some sort of a bookkeeping scam they're able to do. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that, Stephen. But we won't discuss religion as such here. Scientology is widely recognised as a cult, and even at that, we're not against their beliefs. They can believe in what they want. Fuck it, if they want, they can howl at the moon all day and night, so long as they don't keep people awake. What we are against is the abuses that go on here. We're against child abuse, elder abuse, and then the financial abuse here. The way they cohere their members into paying ridiculous amounts of money to do courses. courses that they claim, oh yeah, this will help cure you of any known ailment, and encourage them to take out credit card debt, commit financial fraud. So that's the kind of thing we're against. People can believe in what they want. It's their abuses that are no no. Oh, well, that's your opinion, the hedge. I'm perfectly happy if I make zero difference whatsoever. I'm here. I'm here purely on the basis that just maybe one person will see my signs, and it'll plant some seed of doubt, and just maybe I'll prevent just one person becoming a future victim of this evil cult. That to me makes it all the worthwhile. Because I've heard so many stories of survivors of this place. Nobody walks away unscathed. So to me, to prevent future victims of this place, that's all I need. That's all the encouragement I need. Yeah, you're entitled to your opinion, the hedge. Well, it's a lovely, if you look at it this way, it's a lovely sunny day here in Dublin, Ireland. Nice, lovely breeze. You know, it's not a bad place to be standing outside in the fresh air. Oh, I think there's tacos. I get easily distracted by food. You probably noticed that. Yeah, it's a lovely building. I'm not sure how much million they paid on building this place. What I will say is, I think the only wrong thing to do would be to do nothing. So once you're doing something, that you know, and it's up to individual people to decide what they can do. If you see something that is wrong, it's up to you then to work out what can I do to maybe make a difference. Change has to start from somewhere. Suffragettes didn't happen overnight, nor did getting equal rights for everyone, which we don't exactly have equal rights, but they're more equal than what they used to be. Let's put it that way. I'll show you my show you the that's the front of the sign there, and I'll show you the back of the sign. And the back of the sign is a message that we have pointing towards the org. All forms of auditing is abuse. Having children given the auditing and taking the auditing is all highly abusive and is not suitable for kids. It's not even suitable for adults, but look, kids can't fend for themselves. They cannot, they are not able to consent. So I think religion or cults of any shape or form should not be forced on children. Wait until they're adults when they can make up their own minds. Yeah, that is a good point, Edge, and that is where survivors of this cult need to get in touch with the local law enforcement and report the crimes of this evil cult. And speaking of which, there's a lovely website that our Haggis has put together to help with that called oh my goodness, what's it called? Victims Have Voices, I think. Is that the name of it? One of my lovely mods could correct me there. Yeah, Victims Have Voices. So that's a good website to check out. So if anyone has been the victims or survivors of the evil cult, particularly in America, that's worth checking out and getting in touch with the law firm there to see what cases can be brought against them. If it can't be brought in going through the police route, well then bring civil lawsuits against them. This gimbal has a word. I wonder just the way I play. See, can I adjust my gimbal there a little bit? Give me a sec. Okay, I think that's a bit better. Yeah, that's easier to hold. I think I've adjusted it right there. Stephen, I wouldn't agree that the word Egypt is appropriate. There's a lot of very smart people who do fall victim of these cults. We all have weak moments in our lives where we're looking for a little bit of guidance. So I wouldn't exactly call them Egypt. We're all vulnerable for falling for a smiling salesman. We've all been, if you think about, we've all been victim of a scam in our day or two. Even think about the door-to-door salesman selling you a piece of rubbish. Spot on. To you can't paint everyone with the one brush. A few extremists that exist in the world do not count for everybody, and that is spot on. Extremism is not the same as faith. Exactly. So, yeah, and Miriam, you're right. A lot of people fall for cults in their weak moments. It's not just about intelligence. Exactly. And that is where it's vitally important for us to spread awareness in any shape or form that we're able to. Plant those seeds of doubt, and especially when there's children about. Plant the seeds of doubt now that maybe when they grow up and they're older and they think, oh, where's the harm in doing a free personality test? Oh, look, they're doing a course on how to build successful relationships. It's free. Where's the harm in just attending a free course? So that is what we hope to achieve here. Just plant those seeds of doubt and maybe help prevent people falling victim to this evil place in future. And even if I am wasting my time, it's my time to waste. There's a lot less productive ways I could be spending my time. And to be perfectly honest, I'm perfectly content here, standing here listening to JoJo's wonderful tunes. I have you guys keeping me company here. Between the sun and the wind, the weather is absolutely fantastic. We're standing outside in the fresh air. So in one way I couldn't be happier. So what else would I be doing? I'd be at home doing what? Knitting maybe, or eating, or I don't know what I'd be doing. Ah, thanks very much, Brian. Thanks very much to my lovely mods keeping the chat tonight. Yes, spot on. We are here standing up against the abuses of Scientology. We don't care what they can believe and whatever the heck they want. But when they force their beliefs on others and their abusive practices, that is what we object to. Exactly, Rika. People born into cults, children are not capable of consenting, nor should their parents be choosing for them. Hold off on any form of religion or spiritualism or any other ism you want to put on it until the person is an adult of at least 18, maybe 21. Heck, maybe even fucking 30 when the brain is fully mature. Yeah, maybe 30 is time enough to be looking into get into religion or spiritualism or any other ism or any other pseudo. Actually, this place isn't even a religion. It's fucking pseudoscience. It's not even a religion. It's a cult. And how? This is one thing that annoys me. How can these guys say they're a church? They should. How can they be? They're not a church. What mass do they do on Sunday? They don't do any mass. They don't. Well, I suppose their conversion is the interrogation they do on the cans, but that's more like a Staffel style of confessions. Yeah, good point, Pride. Yeah, that is it. Yeah, read the room, lads. Get the vibe of the room that you visit online and get a feel for it and see. Hey, that's great, Rika. But take care of yourself and make sure that you do plenty of good positive stuff as well to try and keep a to try and try and create that rebalance. Because dealing with past trauma is a lot. It's heavy. But I think it does need to be dealt with at some stage. I don't know about that. I think I have a rare moment. I think I have a rare moment where I give good advice. But I do try to. Now, if only my hands didn't get so tired holding these things, I'd be happy. Although if I had something freestanding to hold my sign, that's next on my bucket list to try and work out a freestanding way to hold my sign, where I still be high enough for the passing traffic to see it. You know, that's a member of the public there just having a look at my signs. That's good. So that shows it is effective. If I had zero effectiveness here, nobody would be bothering to stop to look at the signage and to see what I'd written. So there you go. That in itself is enough to reassure me that what I'm doing here is worthwhile. Yeah, at least get. Much I don't know about that. I don't know about that, Stephen. I don't know what the stats are in there. Is there more women or more men in Scientology? From what I've seen of Scientology buildings all around the world and the staff working in them, I would say it probably is pretty much an even split. I think we can all have difference of opinions. So I don't know if that was a serious comment or not, Stephen. Yeah, no, you're 100% right, Rika, and I agree with you. It's not easy to know sometimes if some folks are trying to make a bad joke or if they really are speaking their mind and that is really what they do think. Because I have to say, some people do have daftest notions. Like the way some people can deny that the Holocaust ever happened, for instance. That's just pure nuts. Now, as to whether there was actually a moon landing, you could say that's debatable. Well, it doesn't really matter if there was a moon landing or not. Who cares whether someone really did go to the moon or not? Unless they brought back some nice shiny rocks to look at. Yeah, I've no doubt, Rika. Yeah. So all we can do here we can spread awareness. There'll always be some there. Oh, what was it that they say? There's none so blind as those that won't see, and none so deaf as those that won't listen. So there'll always be those in the world. But thankfully, I think people like that are in the minority. That the majority of people are open-minded. Exactly, Brian. Yes, we should be aware of and know our history, worldwide history. And this whole thing of history repeats, well, why does history need to repeat? Can we not learn from the mistakes of the past? And maybe there is a better way for us all to live together. We don't need to be murdering and killing each other every other weekend. Not quite sure what you mean by that, Stephen. Yeah, I don't know what studies you're referring to, Stephen. I do strongly suspect you may be getting confusing science with pseudoscience. The pseudo means false, so that is just something to be careful of. Pseudoscience is not real or factual; it's made up baloney. Unless you can back that up with statistics, Stephen, I would not be saying that in the public domain. And anyway, it's 100% irrelevant whether it's men or women or both, 50-50 or both falling for these three personality tests. Completely irrelevant. That does not give them any excuse or reason to be able to commit abuse. Abuse is still wrong. So whichever way you swing the dice, abuse is wrong. And that is what we're fighting against here, is the abuses that go on in Scientology. I know, Peter, the only thing we worship here is we worship the humble spud. All hail the humble spud, the giver of life and the feeder of millions. In fact, billions. The humble spud feeds billions of people down through the ages. All hail the humble spud, the provider of delicious tasting chips. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not terribly convinced that Stephen's comments were authentic. I think he was. I think he was what we would call here taking the wee wee. Oh yes, yeah, that's yeah. The cult of the Holy Order, the multi air fryer. That is true. That is true, Brian. The cult of the humble spud and the cult of the air fryer go very well together to produce said tasty chips. That is true. Definitely Jojo, a wind up merchant, all right, taking the wee wee. That's for sure. Now, if his comments are authentic, that is certainly then he shouldn't be bragging about in an open forum, because definitely his opinions would not be reflective of the general public at large. He must live in a very small, secluded group of people, if even he can find another like minded individual. But anyway, people are entitled to believe in what they want. That said, we're also entitled to disagree with them and to find flaws in their arguments. It would have the bacon, eggs, but no black pudding and no haggis. I'd have some mushroom and some tomato and some hash browns with that haggis, and that'd make a lovely fry. So no haggis or black pudding for me, thanks lads. Everything else on the traditional fry, and I'm happy as Larry. What the hell's tumblers? Oh, oh great, thanks very much. I feel you. Time for another recommended sip of water. Keep ourselves hydrated out here. I have to say they do keep the grounds here immaculate. So whoever does the gardening for them, I have to say they do a fantastic job. Just a pity it's only a small number taking advantage of these lovely grounds. Mind you, they don't get a chance to spend any real time out here though. And that is, they always need to be busy, busy, busy. They're not working, they're doing courses somewhere. Oh yes, the air fryer's been a godsend for me. Ever since I treated myself to an air fryer 3 Christmases ago, I haven't used the oven since. Everything apart from a stir fry I do in the air fryer. And an air fryer even does better toast than what a toaster ever did. And if you leave your toast in the air fryer for too long, it doesn't ruin it, it doesn't burn. It just makes it nice and crunchy, which in itself isn't a bad accident. It's more of a happy accident. Mine is making barbecue wings later. Whoa. All round to Brian's later. He even has a bottle of Irish in the freezer for us. Oh my goodness, T, they're doing an event at Perth Org on the 9th of August and they're asking the members to donate. They want 80k. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of money. And I wonder what are they claiming the 80k is for? And how much of that 80k is going upwards to David Miscavige? Bloody heck. That is some serious scamtology, yeah, right, Rika? Oh my god. That is one thing to keep an eye out and hear that these guys aren't donating and looking for fundraising for anything either. But that's one thing we do know about Scientology, they're sneaky buggers, that's for sure. Oh my goodness. They're trying to get Australia to become the first ideal continent. I can hear the fucking cash register chinking there in my brain. Oh my goodness, what a money scam for David Miscavige. So that's obviously his retirement plan then. Oh my god. Yep, that is true. The guys here certainly could have a nice landscaping business because the grounds here are absolutely impeccable. I appreciate the thank there for members of the public. That's good to see my sign is still getting red because it is a bugger to hold it up with the wind battling against me. You can see I'm fighting against the wind there, lads. Fighting against the wind. Yeah, they do a lot of cleaning businesses, don't they? And over in Denmark, Mirren. Yeah, that is true. Whoever gets to do the gardening is getting a lot of fresh air. So the other lads there are just cooped inside every day. If they're lucky, they get to venture out for 15 minutes or so while they're eating their lunch, and that is it, which is sad to see. That is right, Cathy. Yeah, they do. They have what they call busy time. They need to find endless jobs to do to make themselves look busy. And I guess that is designed that way. If you're busy doing endless tasks, you don't have time to stop and think and wonder. Something isn't right here with this setup. Yeah, well, appreciate the thanks there. Nice to hear. Yeah, I think so. I think it's due to hit us sometime tomorrow, Joe. Oh my goodness, the windows would. Especially if like me, you suffer from vertigo. Cleaning windows at ground level is a complete and utter no-no. Yeah, I highly recommend getting an air fryer, I feel you. I use mine for practically everything apart from stir fries. And it's also a lot more, it uses a lot less electricity than what the oven did. I would like to say that I'm saving money on my electricity bill, but every time I manage to reduce my usage, they only up the unit price. So go figure. Sometimes you just wonder what's the point. I don't know what kind of brands you get in Australia, I feel you. But for me, when I was looking into getting an air fryer, the Ninja is the brand I got, and he seems to be the Ferrari of air fryers. And I have to say, I don't regret getting them. I've used other air fryers that my siblings have, and the Ninja is by far the best. We're over a couple more kids, which is a shame to see. It's a shame to see kids here outside this horrific place. I just won't deliberately put them on camera. I'll be respectful of them. Leave them play around there. Yeah, well, hopefully their parents are working inside there. It's certainly not so I'd want my kids to be spending their day bored at silly here when they could be up in the park playing with all the neighbourhood kids. Yeah, typically doing things in the air fryer, it'll be half the time as well taking the oven, pretty much. Hi, strange feelings. How are you? We're just outside the Dublin org here in Ireland, protesting against the abuses of this evil cult, where they offer no benefit at all to mankind. Oh my goodness. Apologies for that now. I think my hand was getting a bit tired there. I had to adjust my grip. Yeah, I was Amy, and I just thought, you know what? I'd prefer not to talk to any of the children inside the org here. I'd prefer not to give Scientologists here any excuse at all to be creating their own narrative. So I reckon it's best to play it safe and just to. No Tom Cruise here. Apparently that is one theory of why they opened an org here in Dublin, Ireland. Is that Tom Cruise apparently has some sort of Irish heritage in his blood, going back I don't know how many generations. But that is something that we vehemently deny. There's definitely no Irish blood running through Cruise's veins. Absolutely none. We completely and utterly reject that notion. We do not claim Tom Cruise is one of ours. Awfully far from Dublin. It wouldn't be too far. Awfully is kind of in the middle somewhere. Yeah, it's not too far from Dublin, alright. Yeah, a couple of hours by car, yeah. Oh, exactly, T. and that is why I have a double-headed sign, one for passersby, and then with the message, child auditing is abuse, um, on the York side. Is I try and plant some seeds of doubt, particularly in the children here, that maybe when they're old enough to make up their own minds, something will stick there and they'll do their own independent research and realise that maybe this place isn't quite all it seems to be. Where are you living these days, Strange Feelings? That's probably one of the saddest things, Rika, is how blind some people can be to the abuse and neglect that they see going on all around them. So I think that's one of the things that we can try and do is spread awareness. Make it hard for people to turn a blind eye. Oh, great, Strange Feelings, both your parents are Irish. Nerves are good, Rika. The more nervous you are, the more you know that it's important. Yep, and what Cathy is very wise as well. So yeah, what Cathy says, Rika, you got this. Cool, Rika. Best of luck. Not that you need it, but I'll send you best of Irish luck. Oh, Strange Feelings. Your DNA test came back as 83% Irish. Fantastic. That could even be more Irish than I am. I'll have to get a DNA test done. But one of my grandparents was English, the other three were Irish. So I'm not sure, does that make me at most 75% Irish? Who knows? I'll have to get a DNA test done at some point in time, because I certainly am curious to find what the DNA will tell. As long as the DNA doesn't show me up as being 90% English, I'm happy. There better be more Irish blood in me than English blood, that's for sure. Otherwise, I'll be mightily upset. So the music you guys can hear in the background is Jojo Banana's wonderful tunes. It's great to have Jojo's music here keeping us company. Because there sure as hell isn't much going on in this org today. Practically empty. We have a few of the Scientology kids out from kind of, I guess they're loosely playing. But I'd be happier to see them if they were kicking a ball around or something like that. I don't know, are they free to, probably not free to play like normal kids, but sure, what can you do? Ah, fantastic, your mum has the Irish accent. Absolutely fantastic, Strange Feelings. Hiya dear, how are you? We're outside the Dublin Orc here of a Sunday afternoon. Hey, we appreciate the passersby there reading my sign. I'll give you guys a glimpse at my sign here. Uh, that's the front of it there. I have facing the roadside. Turn over. And that's the side I have facing the message for the org themselves. The weather here today is rather nice. It's about 20 degrees Celsius. There is a nice cool breeze. The only thing, the breeze is fighting with my sign somewhat, which does make it that bit harder to hold steady. But sure, we'll do the best we can. Hi Kia, how are you? Ah, fantastic, strange feelings. You have Irish smiling eyes, fantastic. They're the best kind of eyes to have. Rika has English, Irish, and Native American Choctaw. Fantastic. Cool, Rika. We claim you as one of ours. We're very happy to claim Rika as one of ours. And we've also claimed Kathy as one of ours as well. And I'll just remind everyone, we've vehemently denied that Tom Cruise has any Irish blood anywhere at all in his ancestry. We do not claim him as one of ours. We do not want him. But that is right, strange feelings, you can, yeah, because you have Irish parents, you certainly can. I'm happy to help, Rika, that's great. I have to say, it's not my most favourite place in the world being here, but I think it does need to be done. Because there, even though there's not many people falling victim for Scientology these days, there are still some people falling victim to it. So it's worth trying to get the message out to prevent anyone else falling prey. Oh, I feel that you have an EU passport. Nice. So what's stopping you then from popping on over, pay myself and Jojo a visit, and I'll trip to Glasgow in Ireland? Oh, for certainly strange feeling. We'll accept practically anyone. Well, apart from the Daft Orange one and a handful of other individuals, but apart from that, we're 99.99% accepting of everybody. But we do have our limits. The Daft Orange one is where we most definitely draw the line. Oh, fantastic, strange things. You still have family living in Napoli. Absolutely fantastic. You should pop over and give all your Irish relatives a visit. There's some lovely scenery and countryside here. So make sure you can spend a decent holiday here travelling around. Right, I feel Eureka is doing some awesome work. They truly are. Oh, fantastic. Your brother's coming to Dublin soon. Fantastic. Oh yes, we could do with some party emojis, exactly. We certainly could if you apologies for that. I just need to adjust my hand again. It does tend to my hand gets tired very easily. Mother Nature is not kind to us slightly older ladies. But sure, what can you do? I'd prefer to be here alive to experience the effects of growing old than not at all. So you take what you offer in life. Ah, fantastic, strange feelings. You love everything about Ireland. Very good. It is a lovely place. Ireland is somewhere that I've lived all my life. No special desire to live anywhere else. Although maybe for a few weeks in the summer, when we have our summer here, I wouldn't mind moving to somewhere nice and cold. We're not exactly, us Celts are not exactly sun worshippers. We prefer the autumn weather. Anything above 22 degrees Celsius is well, for me it's getting too hot because I do tend to suffer from heat stroke and I'm liable to drop like a sack of potatoes. So I do need to mind myself in the hot weather. Yeah, it's no harm here to warn people about Scientology any opportunity you get because you never know where they might encounter it. And just so that they're mindful of that there are a lot of other cults operating in the world. And just maybe as a general tip, that if someone is offering a free personality test, it's a cult. Plain and simple. Oh, fantastic, strange feelings. That's great to hear. Your grandfather and great aunt has been here many times and they love it. Absolutely fantastic. Right? I feel that Irish and Jojo needs to go to Australia. If I have to kidnap Jojo and stuff her in my suitcase, she's gone. Oh, you're mostly Eastern European, Amy. Cool, cool. Yeah, we'd have to plan a nice long visit. Australia's definitely on my bucket list and New Zealand. But I'd probably need at least 3 months or 6 months to go and see everything that I'd be wanting to see. Now, if only I could find that elusive pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, I'd be sorted. Because I have to say, working for a living isn't all it's cracked up to be. I have to say, in fairness, my sign is holding up well, despite the wind giving it a bit of a battering. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, dear. Grammar fails us all at the best of times. And then when you throw in sausage fingers into the mix, and plus they don't make these devices for us slightly older ladies. These mobile devices are built for the young, I'm convinced of that. Yep, as Adira said, if you would be so kind as to like and subscribe. Slight bit more activity in there, but not much. Only the odd person walking about. That is great to see that they're so quiet. Particularly on a Sunday afternoon being so quiet is great to see. If there was absolutely any interest in Ireland here, there'd be people going in there checking out the free courses and whatnot. So it's great to see them so quiet. Exactly. Well, what do they say? They say, come in today for a free personality test. Give yourself the knowledge of you. Well, thanks very much, but I've lived with me for 50 years and I think I have the knowledge of me at this stage of life. The knowledge of me I carry around with me from the day I was born. So I think I know more about me than them daft 200 questions they ask, and they're absolutely daft. Most of the questions I don't even quite know what they mean by them. I don't know even how you'd even describe some of the questions. It's just fucking obscure. And as for the deceptiveness that they put on them to try and make it sound like that it's affiliated with the Oxford University by saying it's a, what is it they call it? An Oxford capacity test or something like that. Thanks very much for the sub strange feelings. Yeah, it's something I learned a long time ago, and I can't remember who told it to me. I think it might have been a German gentleman I was working with in the 90s who just said to me, he gave me a tip, and he just said, a free personality test equals a cult. And that is something that stuck with me long before we ever did any Scientology in Ireland. And I think that is a good little tip for people just to bear in their heads at all times. What legitimate organisation would be giving out free personality tests? And even why has a free personality test got to do with religion? And why do you need to go up, spend all that money to go up as far as level 3, OT3, to find out about anything of any substance about this religion? Like any other religion, you find out from day one who and what God is. You don't have to be paying millions of pounds to be advancing up the levels to be finding little tidbits of information about it. Cool. Oh, Rika's back already. Fantastic. Hope it went good, Rika. I might just move down a bit so I'm not catching the children in my view. Although there would be nothing wrong with me filming the children because we're perfectly entitled to film in a public place. And since I've been filming here for the last hour and a half, they're the ones who wandered into my field of vision rather than me targeting them, if you know what I mean. So there's absolutely nothing illegal that I'm doing here. It's perfectly legit. But I just prefer not to. That's all just fantastic, Rika. I hope they do read it. Oh wow, that really is used. Don't know how many, hundreds of emojis there, but they're all appropriate. Absolutely fantastic. I have to say, I'm full of appreciation and admiration for Jamie, because that is one hell of a book he's put together, and it can't have been easy whatsoever. Yeah, it certainly looks like him, the pie maker seems to Devante. And I know he does have a child, so possibly one of them children is his. Not sure what he was telling them. But I'll just keep a bit of an eye out just to make sure there's no dubious shenanigans going on. Absolutely, Rika is awesome. Rika is awesome in everything they do. Oh, we got a few more appreciated beeps. That's great to hear. Oh, bunch of Indian gentlemen here approaching the org. It is great. We have a. I might flick around my sign, show them the other side of it. I do. Oh, that's good. They're reading my sign all right, which is good to see. Um, Night tea and sweet dreams. So there's two Indian gentlemen there who's reading my sign. It's fantastic to see. I don't know, are they the ones affiliated with that Hindu temple that is trying to open up here? Because they themselves do have culty vibes about them. Now that, and that's the important thing, Rika, is the thought that counts. And you've left a note there. Yeah, and that is it, Rika. The only wrong thing to do would be not to try. So trying is all you can do in this life. You can try your best. I think it's time for a recommend. Oh, hang on. There's some more Indian gentlemen coming up there. Let's flip around the sign again. Give them something more to read. There's some two groups of Indian gentlemen. As one group has gone, a group of six, and now there's another group of five going in. They are stopping to read my sign, which is good. I am wondering who they're affiliated with. Are they part of the Hindu cult that's looking to set up that fake temple here? Because they're the ones that did a fundraiser here a few months ago. So that is what I'm wondering. They are the right age profile to be affiliated with that. Yeah, I don't know if she's a mum or one of the kids. She's just over talking to them. Yeah, there is a rather large Indian population in Ireland over the last 10 or so years. They're probably the fastest growing non-Irish group here. And I will say the Hindu temple that they're fundraising for here a few months ago has cult written all over it to me. For one, why would you be needing to fundraise for a Hindu temple? And why would it not be affiliated with, say, the head office back in, say, India? Because if you think about, I'm an Irish Catholic. We, everyone knows who the boss of that is. The boss that lives in Rome is the Pope. But yet the Hindu temple, I can't remember the name they're calling it, but I couldn't find anything of any substance about when I did a Google search on it, which was very odd. If it's an authentic religion, it shows have a proper hierarchy with branches all over the world and with a clear head office that has existed for centuries. Oh, cool. Portland is green too. Interesting. Good to know. Because you do have the Oregon Trail over there, which is supposed to be a good for a holiday destination as well. So many places I'd love to go and see if only I had the time and money. But there's still time though. Still plenty of living left to do. Yeah, you should, Rika. It's lovely here. But then I am biased. I have only lived over here for what? My entire 50 years of my existence I've lived in Ireland. No real desire to live anywhere else. Although I wouldn't mind going somewhere warm in some of the colder winter months. And maybe somewhere cooler in our summer months. But apart from that though, I'm perfectly happy and content in Ireland. Yeah, possibly the same here as well, Joe. Pakistani would probably be next to Indian population here. I know the Indian one is the fastest growing non-white Irish ethnicity. What? Portland gets even more rain than Ireland. Okay, that's something. Okay, so that's I'd have to plan my time over there. Then I'd have to apply a strategy then. Check out the weather first. Whereas somewhere like LA and Coldwater has zero appeal to me. They seem to be scorcho all year round, and I'm not a fan of the sun, so sun is not for me. Yeah, between Ireland and Scotland, we have a little pond called the Irish Sea in the way. So realistically, it's by plane. Now the flights to Scotland are what, about an hour, but then because you have the Beacon airport and needing to get there and all the messing with checking and all the rest of it, your flying time is the least of it. But yeah, 30 minutes. I think it might be more than, maybe it's 15 minutes flight. But that's the shortest part of the journey. If you think end to end, if you consider how long does it take from the time you leave your house to fly over and where you're leaving the Glasgow airport at the other end. Probably what, that's probably 4 or 5 hours you've been talking about easily of your day gone. But that in itself isn't much. wonder could you even get the... I don't think we do run any ferries from Ireland to Scotland. I know we do to Holyhead. And where does the other one go to? Things I can't remember anymore. Been so long since I got on the ferry. Not since my early 20s have I gotten the ferry over to the UK. Ever since Ryanair came along with its cheap flights, flying is cheaper these days than getting the ferry, even as a fourth passenger. Yeah, and I do like Glasgow Airport, I have to say. I'd have to say I'd prefer Glasgow Airport over a lot of the other UK airports. The worst one I've ever been to is probably Stansted. I wouldn't recommend that one at all. Okay, good night, Kia. Have sweet dreams. Yeah, right, Catty. Kia is a young man and he does give us hope for the future. I think it might be time for another recommended sip of water. Just down the sign for a bit. Better. There we go. I, child auditing is abuse. And they call themselves a church, but they're not a religion, and we don't recognise them as a religion. Hang on, I'll just turn off the music there. Yeah, they call themselves a religion, but they're not a religion, they're a cult. And like people are free to believe what they want, but the abuses that go on. They do this thing they call auditing, where the device they use is called an e-meter. And it's like a low level form of a lie detector test, where they'll ask you what are your crimes. And even if children has have crimes that they believe in that you lived in hundreds of lifetimes before. So you must have done something bad in the previous life. So if anything bad happens to you in this life, like say you fall, cut your knee, you must have done something bad to have deserved that. So it's all very much about victim blaming. Exactly. That is what they're teaching as you go up the levels. No, there is no priest, there is no clergy. They don't even do like say what we call mass. They don't even do services. They do some sort of a thing of Sunday if say members of the public chose an interest in it and walked in and wanted to see a service. But like it's more that they call it because they call it Scientology, which they try to say is science. It's all pseudoscience. It's all based on a book that a guy called Lafayette Ronald Hubbard wrote in the 1950s called Dianetics. And it's just fake science. Later than it, because I have read the book, there is some good self-help stuff in the book, but it's all a lot of abusive stuff is written in there as well. Because I've listened to a lot of the stories of survivors, particularly children who's grown up in this cult. I've listened to their stories, and they've all suffered some form of long-lasting abuse, and that is what has inspired me. That my objective is, because even you can see there's some kids here belonging to staff members. All I want to do is try and plant some seeds of doubt, so that maybe try and prevent someone in future becoming a victim of this cult. Because nobody walks away unscathed. The way they get you is come in for a free personality test. You think, where's the harm? They do low level courses like how to repair a failed relationship. That's a free course. And then even the courses then progressively go up. They always dangle this carrot in front of you that you're always on the verge of discovering the truth, but you're never quite there. Very quickly you find out as you go up, the courses are 7, 8 grand, 100,000 to do the courses. You don't find out until you reach what they call OT level 3, that you find out that the root of the religion is they believe in this powerful galactic overlord called Xenu. Billions of years ago, he froze us all like ice popsicles and threw us into the sea. And then we got released up. Some sort of volcano eruption, we all released up. And then we're all trapped here on Earth, which is called the prison planet. It's all sorts of sci-fi daft nonsense. And you could say that in itself, that would be fine, but it's the abuse that goes on behind closed doors. And that is what inspired me to be out here.
I agree with what you're saying, but I can only say it's not the only place that's.
Oh no, they're not exactly. They're not the only place. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And the computer that's on that.
Oh yes, I fully agree. I fully agree with you. Oh yeah, I fully agree. And if you want to go out protesting against the use of mobile devices and the harm, be my guest. But it's just because listening to the stories, there's so many survivor stories of people who grew up in this organisation, that just really
No,
that affected and touched my heart in no way that any other stories did. And that's the only reason why in particular. It's not the only thing that I've been looking into, but it's just particularly that their stories really did touch me like no others. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Thanks for talking to me. Yeah. Take care.
Show a little bit of support.
Exactly. Yeah. Thanks very much. Okay. I'm not sure what you guys heard or were looking at there. Yeah. I was probably pointing at the ground when I was talking to that nice gentleman. He was asking me all about why I was protesting here. So I think that in itself proves that my sign here is working. When someone stops their car to pull over and wanting to talk to you, that to me is a good indication. So I'm certainly not wasting my time here, regardless of what that wee taker earlier was trying to say. So I do apologise. I think I probably gave you guys a view of the ground. I kind of forgot I was holding a phone with all you guys looking. It's fair to say I'm not good at multitasking. Mind you, when you're out here, there's so many things to juggle because at the same time, you need to keep a cautious eye, just to be aware that there's nobody around in your vicinity, because you never know where one of these lads might spring up. Now, on the good side, once they're inside they have no easy way out. There is no back edge to this front entrance. They have to go up that long, windy driveway there. So that's a fair distance out. Though there is no taking me by surprise, but at the same time, you never know where there might be someone passing by, say on their day off or anything passing by. So I think it's probably a good tip in life just to always be a little bit aware of your surroundings when you're out about in public in general anyway. Thanks very much, Cathy. They do, Rika. They have cameras everywhere. From what I can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 on the roof there anyway, pointing out this way. And they do have others all along the building. Now they do right near the front entrance, way down there. The front entrance way down there, they do have a large plaque up to say that there is a lot of surveillance cameras in operation. So if that doesn't tell you they're a cult, what church do you know needs that amount of cameras? No worries, Joe. Take your doggies out for a bit of exercise. Another member of the public there showing their appreciation, honking the horn. Yeah, take those doggies out, Jojo. Our furry and our feathered animal friends are most important things in this life. Well, maybe children first. Well, would you put a child above a furry animal? I'd have to think about that one. Maybe you'd rate them the same. I definitely have a preference for our four-legged friends anyway. My goodness, that poor man is still cleaning the floor. There really must be a lot of body Satans there that he's trying to hoover up. Like, I mean, it has to be nice and shiny again. Like, how many times does he need to drag that heavy cleaner over it? Like, geez, it's not like it's that big a space either. I guess he needs some busy work to be doing. Yep. Can always rely on haggis to lower the tone of the conversation, but I can't deny haggis is 100% right. Facts are facts. There were two more Indian gentlemen over there. Not sure if you guys can see them. Two more Indian lads wandering around. Definitely is worth another look into that Hindu organisation that did a fundraiser here a few months ago. Because it certainly didn't look above board and pucker to me. And to be affiliated with this place here, that in itself, they're probably not an authentic religion. What's that the way the saying goes? It takes one to know one. So yeah, I think one cult would easily recognise another. Great, Amy. Yeah, yeah. You go cook. You go cook some dinner. Cook something nice for that lovely daughter of yours. Yeah, but what Miriam said, if you would be so kind to double tap the screen to like, and maybe yeah, make sure that you are subscribed, and maybe tell all your friends. Oh yeah, cool, Miriam. Yeah, yeah. You go fix some good for yourself before your interview with Mark Turry. That should be a good interview, by the way. Mark Turry is an interesting chap. Hi Martina, how are you? We're outside the Dublin Orc here in Ireland of a Sunday afternoon, and as you can see, it's pretty quiet. There are a few members of the public that gone in of Indian origin, which I think are possibly affiliated with that dubious Hindu temple that was fundraising here a few months ago, but I'll certainly be looking into that a bit more. Certainly be spreading awareness with the Indian gentlemen I know to just give them the heads up. Thanks very much, Miriam. Yeah, Bianca's live with Jamie later today is definitely a must watch. The traffic around here is quieting down a lot. I think this might be a good time for me to end this live and to make tracks myself. Plus, my arm is getting very tired holding these posters. So I think I'll call it there, lads. And thanks very much for joining and keeping me company today. And sure, we'll meet each other around these here YouTubes, no doubt later on today. So thanks very much all for your support. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Let's see, how do I end this thing? This does not get any easier. At the end, might be, there we go.